So you want to be a pool hustler. You need the skills, then you come to me.
You shoot a good stick.
Thanks. Gee, you shoot straight pool, mister?
Now and then, you know how it is.
You're Minnesota Fats, aren't you? They say Minnesota Fats is the best in the country out where I come from.
Is that a fact?
Yes, sir, boy.
So let's start with some of the basic. Let's start with the grip. All right. There's a couple of ways you can do it. There's the open hand grip. We'll show you right here. That's when you want to take your palm, put it down flat on the table, get your fingers, sort of bend it like that in a hook, and then get that thumb and put it right next to that index finger, just like that. Maybe show you like that. All right. And then you're gonna put that stick right on that thumb, just like that. Okay. Now, when you're stroking the stick, make sure you keep that stick straight in line. So people have a tendency when they line up their shots to overextend themselves, and then they move that trajectory of the sticks around, and it just messes up all their shots. So all that aiming you just did, you just wasted all your time doing. So you want to keep that stroke nice and compact, just like that. The other grip you can do is the encircled grip, which is basically putting down 3 fingers like that. Get that thumb right up to the middle finger, and then loop it over. You're gonna wrist that stick right at it, and then loop it over just like that. So you can. Okay. All right. The third way you can do it, if your cue ball is right up against the rail somewhere, you can actually just rest the stick right on the cushion, and then place your hand right over that, and that'll stabilize it nice and straight. All right. So when I'm shooting, I always try to keep a nice good stance, a nice 3/4 stance. All right, so 3/4 stance. Here's a front stance when you have one step in front. Here's a side stance, and a 3/4 stance is kind of in between. You're just gonna point your front foot just like that, and now 3/4 of your bodies are in line with the shot. So I get a nice 3/4 stance. And I want my stick smooth. I don't want my stick gyrating about. So I want it nice and straight. That's why I got the 3/4 stance. And I want it stable. And when I shoot, I want to keep that line straight.
How do you feel? Fast and loose, man.
In the gut, I mean.
I feel tight, but good.
Weapon.
He is great. Geez, that old fat man. Look at the way he moves, like a dancer.
Well, cross-eyed.
And those fingers, them chubby fingers. That stroke. He's like he's playing a violin or something.
Line up your shot. You just have to take your cue and angle it so it's parallel to the line of the target ball into the pocket. Then if you can imagine the cue ball being right next to that target ball, it'll give you the line that you need to go into the pocket. It helps if you consider the width of the ball, the path it's going to go through, and the follow through. So I got one question for you. When you shoot, do you shoot from the hip or do you aim down the sights? If you're aiming down the sights, it really just gives you tunnel vision. Most importantly, you're losing sight of the pocket, which means when you're hitting it, you're just aiming at a spot hoping for the ball to go in. In order to get a good shot, you really have to see the path of the ball. You have to see the path of the cue ball, and you have to see the path of the target ball going into the pocket. An overhead view will definitely give you a better view of the situation. It gives you the path of the cue ball, it'll give you the path of the target ball, it'll give you the path of the pocket that it's going in. That means when you're shooting, you have to shoot like a cowboy and shoot from the hip. So you have to try to see all 3 things at the same time: the cue ball, the target ball, and the target pocket. You're going to realize how evident it is when you try a combo shot. This is definitely an advanced skill, but I'm just using this as an example to illustrate my points.
Cross corner.
The more people have asked me, how do you do a bank shot more than anything else? Quite simply, the angle of incident is going to equal the angle of reflection. That means if you're hitting the ball into the cushion at a 45-degree angle, it's going to bounce off at a 45-degree angle the other way.
Fat man, you shoot a great game of pool.
So do you, Fast Eddie.